So today we're testing out the new Mizuno MP-20s, and I think you can agree these are probably the most good looking irons on the market at the moment. There's 3 models in this series and we've got the MB here. So obviously this is the main tour blade, so it's a muscle back. There's not much forgiveness in there. It's designed for that tour player who really wants that premium feel throughout the shots. So behind the ball you can see this is such a thin club. There's literally no top line on it, no offset, and it just sits really nicely behind the ball. So we've got the 5-iron here, and we've got about 160 up the hill into this par 3. So we're just going to give it a hit and see how it performs. So obviously the feel off this face is designed to be really nice, and I could feel that through the shot. It's not something that's designed to give you extra distance, so usually my 5-iron would go a little bit further than this, but obviously this isn't designed with as much, less loft as other clubs, so it's not designed to go quite as far. So you've got kind of standard lofts that you would see in other muscle back irons, and this is just because tour players already have the extra distance, so they don't want that. They want more precise shots and more shot making. So next in the range we've got the MB. So this is designed to still look like a tour muscle back, but it's designed to give you a little bit extra distance and a little bit more ball speed. So you can see here it has very similar shaping and style to the other one, but it's just a bit chunkier. So that's what's going to give you that extra forgiveness and a bit more distance. So this is really designed for kind of that good player who still wants an iron that looks like a blade, but just doesn't quite have the distance to use a standard blade. So we see over the ball it looks very similar to the MB. The top line is slightly thicker, and I'd say there's a little bit of offset, but really not much that you would notice at all. So again, that felt really nice off the face. It probably has flown, probably similar to the first one. I didn't catch it quite as nicely, but you could definitely see that if you keep hitting a few of these, we're going to get a little bit more ball speed. So this year we've seen Mizuno bring back the copper plating into these irons, so this is throughout the set and it's designed to just increase your feel. They actually did blind testing with tour players, so they created a set without copper plating and a set with, and the tour players preferred the feel with the one with copper, so that's why they decided to bring this into the range. So then the final club we've got is the MMC. So this is slightly different to the first 2, and it's designed to be more of a multi-material design. So you can see that here. So this is just designed for extra forgiveness, and it's just a bit of a different look to the rest of the range, but I still think it's a really good looking club. So overall this is kind of for someone who wants that premium look of a Mizuno club but just wants some more forgiveness. So I'd say of the 3, that definitely had the most ball speed. I did probably strike it slightly better than the previous club, so that will have affected that. I pulled it slightly, but it did feel like it was faster off the face. Over the ball, I'd say the top line and the offset is very similar, slightly thicker than the MB. So yeah, you could definitely see extra ball speed on that shot. It's definitely flown to the back of the green where the other ones were finishing near the front where the pin is. But let's head up and have a look. So we can see the 5 shots I've hit here now, and it's quite easy to see the differences between each club. So this one here is the first one that I hit with the MB. I did feel like I had a bit more feel with this, but we can see that there wasn't as much ball speed, so it hasn't gone quite as far. On this hole it was for the right distance because we set up at the tee for that. But sometimes on longer shots it does mean I would lose a bit of distance with this, but that is what I'd expect because typically I use stronger lofted clubs than these. Then up here we can see these 2 that I hit with the MB, so these ones I didn't quite strike as good as I could have done, but we can still see that I've got a bit of extra distance, and I think if I caught these properly they would have gone an extra probably 5 yards as well. And then we can see up at the back of the green we've got the 2 balls that I hit with the MMC. So out of the 5, these that I've probably flushed the most, I hit them really well, and I could really feel the ball speed off the face. So I think in this range, if you're looking for something that still has that tour profile, but you want a bit of extra distance, this is definitely a good club to look for. I'd say so far from my testing, this would be my favourite, but I think we need to go out and hit a few more shots with some of the different irons and see how they perform. So the key new tech story across the whole MP-20 range is the new copper underlay. So this is under the chrome finish, and it's just designed to give you a softer feel through impact. So this was tested with numerous tour players and they just preferred the feel of this, so that's why it's been brought into the new range. So with the MB, this is a one-piece forge iron. We have seen in this club that they've narrowed the top line slightly since the previous one, so it's 1mm thinner now. We've got a slightly longer blade length though. So moving on to the HMB, this is designed to be more of a player's distance iron. So this is kind of a new venture for Mizuno. So this is actually chromoly forged, and it's designed to provide more high ball speeds than you see across the rest of the range. These irons also have a 12-gram tungsten weight in the longer iron, so this is just designed to get an easy higher launch to match those ball speeds. So with the MMC, this is a multi-material construction, so it's designed to have a taut look but give more stability and be more playable. So the titanium in the back of the club here is just designed for giving you more forgiveness on off-centre strikes, and then we've also got the tungsten in the longer club, so it's just designed to give you a bit of a higher launch. So we're going to hit a few shots from the fairway now instead of the tee box, and we've got 7 iron here, so we've got just over 150 into this green. Now each iron we're testing has actually got slightly different shafts in it, so we're testing them in the stock shafts that they come in. So this is the MB here, and it's in the Dynamic Gold S300. Really here we're just looking at the fact that this has such a thin top line. It still sits great behind the ball, but I think sometimes on long shots it could potentially put you off on the fact that it's not quite as forgiving as the others. So that is a big factor when looking down at it. From this range, I think you have to decide which top line you like the look of, and which is going to give you the most confidence over the ball. So the strike was really nice on that one. I pulled it slightly, but I would say with this that just the feel that you're getting is premium compared to other irons. I feel like if there was a shot where you really wanted to shape it into a pin, this would definitely be the club that you were looking to pick from. Obviously we're not getting that extra ball speed, but I think like I'm getting enough distance with these anyway, and they definitely are playable from the amount of distance you're getting. The only reason you might not want to look at these is if you need extra distance. If we move into the HMB, we can see here this actually has an NS Pro shaft in it. So this is the Tour 120, and it's just in a stiff flex. So I think when you move into this club from the MB, you can definitely notice that the top line is slightly thicker, but I don't think that necessarily is a bad thing. To me, it kind of gives me a bit more confidence over the ball, and the idea that it feels like it's going to be a bit easier to hit. So I actually struck that a lot nicer than I did with the 5 irons on the previous hole, and I've seen quite a lot of extra distance compared to the MB. So the MB kind of just ran onto the front of the green, where that I think has just run off the back of the green. So we are seeing quite a big difference in distance there. So if that's something that's important to you, it's definitely an important thing to test them out. So now moving on to the MMC, this has got a KBS shaft in it. So this is the 120. So obviously it's important to know that we're testing these in different shafts. If you want to go and compare them, you're probably best going to a custom fitter who can put the right shaft for you in, or even just put the same shaft throughout, so you can see accurately which one is best for you. I think over the ball these look very similar to the HMBs. The top line and offset look very similar. I don't really think you would have a problem in moving between these, so maybe if you wanted a combo set in these, I think it would work very well. Again, I struck that one nicely, just right at the pin. It's flown further than the MB and finished just short of the HMB. But let's head down and have a look. So as you can see here, this is the first ball that I hit with the MB. So the feel and the precision and the shot making is a lot higher in this club, but so you can see I had really good distance control as well. So I feel like between shots, you've not got that dispersion of kind of depth of shot. So you're not going to get that one shot that has massive ball speed and disappears off. So if you're looking for a really controlled distance, then this is definitely a club to look at, as well as that obviously additional feel and shot making ability. The MMC has travelled a bit further that we can see here, and then the HMB is actually flown all the way through the back of the green. I actually flushed this one, so that's what I was talking about with like dispersion and depth of the dispersion. Obviously with that, because you've got that extra ball speed, sometimes you're going to hit that flush shot that just goes a bit of extra distance. For some people that's not a problem, But for others who are looking for really tight dispersion, that might be a problem. So say for your tour pros and people like that, so they're kind of only looking at this club in more of the longer clubs, so maybe like a driving iron. So all of these are designed so they can be built into combo sets. It could be that you have the blade and the shorter irons and then move into the HMB, or the same with the MMC. I think personally for me, I preferred the feel of the MMC and the control, the distance control I got, but also the added forgiveness. I just feel like personally, although I loved the feel of the MBs, that I probably would lose a bit too much forgiveness, and personally for me, I don't feel that confident hitting them in the longer irons because they just look so small at address. Obviously they're a beautiful looking club, but when you're looking for that bit of confidence over the ball, something with a bit of a thicker top line like the MMC was just a bit more appealing for me. So overall, I think Mizuno have done a really good job of providing like a different club for different people, but then also creating a set that aesthetically look great and also look great together. So that additional option to be able to use combo sets is really important, because some people want different feels in short irons to long irons. Obviously in the long irons you want in a bit more forgiveness and distance, and then your short irons are your scoring clubs. So that where it comes in the fact that the top lines all match together quite well. When you move in between the different sets, it's not really a massive difference. I think you can tell that the top lines are slightly different, but not enough to put you off using a combo set. So I think we are going to see a lot of people bringing these blades in for the shorter clubs, and then probably moving into the HMB because of the fact it looks very similar aesthetically from the back. For me, I think it would definitely be the MMC that I'll be looking at, and probably using that as a full set. Potentially maybe using some blades in maybe pitching wedge or a 9-iron, but I really loved the feel of this club, so it would definitely be something that I'll be looking to get in. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all again soon.